diversity is survival. I mean, that works in the Amazon jungle as well as the jungle of the big city. My name is David Campbell. I wanted to set up as many interesting cultural events as we could as a way of kind of filling out the weekly schedule. Yeah, I mean, it kind of evolved naturally out of my own abilities, right? Things that I had, things that I had done. When we first had the idea to run the Tuesday nights, the English conversation kind of class, it was in part to draw people in on a Tuesday night that's generally slow, but the other thing was that it gave me an opportunity to spend, like, what I do is I spend all day Tuesday planning. I spend like 5 or 6 hours planning each class. And it's just something I never had time to do working in institutions. We try to promote a variety of cultural events. From the beginning, we had the idea that we didn't just want it to be a business that was making money. I mean, of course, that's good too. And we need that to be able to support the cultural event. Tuesdays, I give a lecture. Basically, it's like a open conversation, which is run kind of like a university-style lecture, where I prepare a topic, and I build around the topic with works of literature, a little philosophy, a little history, science, whatever applies. And I complement it all with like works of art, and I project it up here on the wall behind me. And we get pretty good crowds come out for that. It's free, as are most of the cultural events that we run. The next thing we do Wednesdays is Rincon Bilingue, or the bilingual corner, and that's basically an opportunity for people to come and have a language exchange. Lots of Colombians want to practice their English, and lots of foreigners who are passing through want to work on their Spanish, improve it a bit so that they can communicate with people, and so it's a space for that. Thursdays, we run the Jazz Jam, which is a bunch of university students from the local AFE University. And they've been coming here for a couple years now, and it's an opportunity for them to have a crowd to play in front of. We get great jazz for the night, and it's a nice little scene. The last couple of weeks we've had the classical musicians come down with violins and clarinets and French horns, and playing with these guys with the jazz. It's good. It's a nice little scene. Sundays we run international cinema. We every month I choose a cycle of films according to a particular topic. Sometimes a director, sometimes a country. It wasn't very good. We were running live jazz events outside here in the patio, which was great. It was really cool, open air. We had, like, first couple nights we had like 70, 80 people here. And didn't realize that the neighbors were being negatively impacted. The music was, I guess, rising over the trees and hitting those buildings in the distance there. And so that's been like, that started like a two and a half year sort of tug and pull fight, in which, I learned an awful lot. Like, my Spanish improved remarkably, but also I learned a lot about the people who live here, the residents of this area. This is a mixed zone, so they allow businesses to operate, but you have to be, respectful of the neighbors, which is a good thing, right? At the end of the day, there were conflicts, but we worked them out. We did a lot of talking. I met a lot of people on both ends of the spectrum. Persistence, because introducing new ideas is always going to be a struggle. Have a little bit of capital behind you. That helps, because that's a big pressure. Monica in part gets pretty serious credit for continuing to push me, because there were some pretty long dark nights of the soul. I mean, where I was feeling like I was here trying to do a good thing for the community, and kept running into brick walls, for various reasons. I mean, people didn't understand what we were doing, and just it's slow starting a business like this anyway. You're introducing things that are kind of different into a community that's not used to, like jazz music. I mean, Latin jazz is really popular down here, but jazz, Charlie Parker, Miles Davis jazz, they don't really hear too much of that. And so to promote that kind of thing here is a bit of a fight. And even now, it's up and down. Some Thursday nights are busy and some aren't. but it's definitely catching on, and so that's a good thing at this point. But yeah, just I believed in the whole idea of promoting cultural difference, and for me, it's kind of sink or swim. It's survival. I've invested, you know, like half of my life savings into this, and I want it to be a success. I want it to work because I identify with this project now. I mean, it's who I am. We're starting to run some events to try and attract people from this community, which is largely an older community. And you know, they're sensitive to the fact that they are slowly being displaced by young people who basically use this whole Zona Rosa, Parque Geddes area, which is, you know, this is the play space for a younger set. And we'd like to, you know, give them a few spaces to feel included in this space, and because I think that's part of the conflict too, is that they feel excluded. So, so basically, you know, we're considering running like Wednesday afternoon coffee sessions here, where anybody who lives in this area gets free coffee. They come down and they can just talk about whatever they want, problems in the neighborhood or whatever. So things like that. We'd like to promote that sort of thing to include them. But yeah, I mean, we get a real mix. The Tuesday night classes, somebody mentioned the other day, it's, you know, it's really interesting. You've got people, you've got old people here, you've got young people here, you've got like a whole mixed crowd here, which is, I mean, I hadn't really noticed, but I mean, it was like, yeah, that's cool, I like that. Running like 4, 5, 6 times a year, big concerts, having cultural days where, I mean, I've actually put the whole proposal together for this, where we run a day of workshops for kids, teach them how to play chess and painting their faces, and doing a little cleaning up the creek down here with kids, offering open-air cinema, or no, not open-air cinema, open-air theater, with concerts, with all sorts of things. Basically, yeah, kind of extend more into the neighborhood. So, you know, now that we've secured this public space here, to move into the other spaces around here, the park spaces around here, and extend the project. That's how I see the future.